Hello, friends, and welcome back to this is day 6 of our 12 days of Yule. So we're like halfway there, almost done, in the middle, however you want to put it. And today's topic is to reflect on death and rebirth. And I think that is perfect for this time of year because I try to center myself around nature and what's going on with that. And I think just winter is just that time to go ahead and like kill your ego, so to speak. Humble yourself, lay low, reflect, self-reflect, slow down. I think we spend more time at home in the winter. Even like I've mentioned several times, I'm in SoCal and it doesn't winter like other people's winters, but it does, get cold. It's not as nice. It's sometimes rainy, windy. It does an assortment of things. But this is the time since I've learned about, the nature cycles and stuff like that, that I just have been taking the time to self-reflect, think about what I want to do when spring starts, when the weather, starts to become more beautiful. The planet is becoming more beautiful, well, more vibrant, because even with winter and the dark and stuff, it's still beautiful. Like, I try to find beauty in everything. But when it becomes more vibrant, when it's becoming alive again, when we're getting closer to summer and that beautiful summer sun and summer glow, I just take this time to try and think about, what do I want to accomplish? Especially, we have the our regular New Year coming up. I've also learned to start celebrating New Year in the spring, but we have regular New Year coming up, and so then you just have that collective like emotion of, what am I going to do next year? What goals am I going to set? What's going to be going on? So I start trying to think about that now, and then execute it during spring. Sometimes it happens before spring, but if not, I'm like, okay, no more excuses. Spring is here. We got this. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to set goals and think about, what do I want next year? But I am going to start at the beginning of the year. I've already started some of my goals. And so I think while we're here on earth, we do die and become reborn again, whether we like it or not, several times. You have different points in your life as well, just automatically, where you hit growth. Like when you're, an infant and then you become like a toddler, you're going to be hitting growth. When you're a toddler and you become like, school aged, and then school age, like middle school, high school, and then so on and so forth. I know that I've had like so many different awakenings without even realizing it in my lifetime. And I feel like I'm coming, because I'm almost turning 40 in a couple of years, and I'm coming to more of an awakening and coming to more of loving me and who I am and becoming me. And so it's bittersweet, because it's like, you have all these things that happen in life. And to me, it kind of like opens a veil, and you can't unsee what you've seen, basically. So even people who, are children or adults or whatever, and they go through like trauma, I think that's why it's so hard sometimes, because you can't technically undo that trauma. You can't unsee that. You can't unknow that, like whatever happened. And you can't go back to being the person that you were. Maybe you were a little bit naive, or maybe you were a little gullible or whatever, and that was fine, and that served you for those moments, but something instantly woke you up. And with trauma, I think because it's so instant and you don't have like this, elevation of going towards it, you become like stuck, and you're like, what's going on? Like, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't, well, first of all, you weren't deserving of any negative things happening towards you, but you weren't ready. It wasn't like something that you prepared yourself for, so to speak, and it just happened. So that makes it like traumatizing, because it's just like, you're just thrown out there. And so I think when things like that happens, you kind of like die in a way, and then you're reborn to another person through all of that pain. And I know a lot of people think, you know, like when you're in a spiritual journey and things like that, it's supposed to be easy and it's supposed to be love and light, but it's a lot of pain. It's a lot of learning things that you were taught, because you have, you know, your family that you grow up with and they do things a certain way. And then, you know, even like in those school age years where I'm saying you're dying and you're becoming this different person because you're meeting new people and you're seeing how they do things and you're learning more about yourself and how you want to do things. And then say, for instance, you have a family, you meet someone, you have a partner and they have a way of doing things, and then you have to relearn how to do things again. And then you throw kids in the mix and you have to learn how to redo it again, and you have to reparent yourself because your parents, no matter how, you know, great they tried to be, in some areas they felt they lacked because they're their own person, they're on their own journey. And as hard as that is to understand and believe, we're just all on our own journeys, and we're all dying and being reborn over and over and over and over again until we, you know, literally do die in this physical body and our energy goes wherever our energy goes. So with that point, I know in hoodoo, ancestor veneration is very huge, and it is so comforting for me to have that. It is so comforting to have my ancestor altar, to go and sit with my ancestors, to look at their pictures, to talk to them, to offer them food, to try to hear from them, to see if they respond back, to know that even though they're not here, they're still here. They're like in my heart, but then they're also literally in my DNA. And that may sound a little creepy, but to me it's so comforting, because when you have those connections with people and you just they're no longer here and you just want them back, and you just feel like you would do anything to get them back, to have any little spark of anything is just so beautiful. Death to me used to be scary, like, oh my gosh, like even sometimes now when I think about it too much, it's not scary, but it's like this eerie like feeling like, oh my gosh, one day I'm not going to be here, I'm not going to exist. And then we don't know what happens on the other side. You know, we know what we think, but we can't be absolutely sure what happens. And since becoming within hoodoo and looking at things differently, to me death is just another part of our journey. It's just another beautiful experience, and hopefully like what I believe, and I'm able to, you know, maybe assist my children on the other side to help them through things that they're going through, and I have more enlightenment while I'm on the other side to do those things, is beautiful to me. But I know death is like a hard experience. I was actually having a conversation with my eldest daughter last night, and she was crying because she was just stating like, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know, without you. Just out of nowhere, she starts telling me that. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do without you, and I don't want you to go. Like, I would rather go before you do, because what am I going to do? And I'm just like, well, what am I going to do? You know, if you go, like, that will hurt. I'm like, you're supposed to still live your life, baby. You're supposed to, you know, meet friends, and you're supposed to find a partner and build your own family. And once that happens, you know, you'll be with your own family. I'll still be here for you and with you as much as you want while I'm here on earth, but you're supposed to grow and you're supposed to find your own happiness. Like, I can't be that for you. Like, I love you and I want to support you and I will support you, but I can't be your happiness. You have to find that within yourself, and then, you know, elsewhere within activities and, you know, other people that you may meet along the way. So we had a pretty nice conversation, and it got late, and so we may pick that up again today. But I also try to explain to my girls, like, we have this altar. They don't even know the ancestors that have passed or anything. Like, I tell them stories as much as I remember and I know and stuff like that, but they haven't experienced death at all. I think my daughter experienced her goldfish dying. That's about it. Not a person in her life or anything, that anyone that she's close to, she hasn't experienced that. So I just try to explain it to them, and that it's going to be okay. And then we have our other side where you set that altar up and you talk to and communicate with your ancestors, because they answer back. And I've had some experiences with that, like crazy, like not crazy, like supernatural or super paranormal or anything, but just experiences with like 100% when I'm on my altar doing what I'm supposed to do, because I do slack off, like, let me let y'all know I slack off. But when I'm on there and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm meditating with my ancestors, I'm praying with them, I'm giving them their offerings, they come through. And I don't mean just like simple things like, oh my God, I want, to be able to buy this, or, whatever kind of thing, help me get the money for this. I just mean they come through. They're coming through to elevate me, to teach me different things, to open my eyes to different things, to just help me along this journey. And I'm so happy and proud of that. And so for me, death and rebirth is just another part of the story. Whether we come back, whether we stay, wherever energy goes once we've left this vessel, it is just beautiful. And while we're here on earth, it's hard. It's hard when you die, when your ego dies, when your spirit, not, well, I guess not your spirit, I don't know, I would just say your ego, when your ego dies, when you're, revealed things and stuff like that. But it's so worth it, because in the end, you're just elevating yourself, you're learning boundaries, you're learning how to become a better person, you're becoming humble, and you're learning how to help people. Because once you go through something, then you're able to be open and more receptive. When somebody else is struggling with that, you're able to empathize and sympathize with them, because you've been through it, or you may be able to envision yourself going through it. So don't be afraid of it. Just keep going, live your best life while you're here, keep going on your journey, elevate yourself, love yourself, and spread that to your family, friends, loved ones, strangers, whoever you get an opportunity to.